Courtney Conover here, and today on topic is how to go natural 101. This is kind of like the Cliff Notes version of what I wished I had when I embarked on my natural hair journey back in November of 2015. So what I've tried to do here is condense the steps. Now I'm nearly 2 years in, all natural. Haven't straightened since then. So now I can kind of look back and kind of see what are the major integral steps of starting a natural hair journey successfully and maintaining it successfully. So I've got about 7 steps for you. Very simple, very easy to follow, and I hope that this will give you or send you off on your journey and to give you a good fresh start on how to maintain healthy, thriving curls. So the first step that I have for you today is make a commitment. So your commitment is to start this journey and to stick with it. I'm not going to lie to you. There are going to be some rough days. There are going to be some days where, and probably fairly early in, where you might say, I don't know if I can do this. Yes, you can. Just know that all of these beautiful curly-haired YouTubers and Instagram curly girls that you see, most of them where you are right now, at a point where you have damaged hair, at a point where you don't know what the heck you're doing. Mostly all of us started there. Most of us started from the bottom. So when you look at these women, just know that they didn't get this overnight. Okay, most of them did. Most of them didn't get it overnight, and it was through trial and error. It was through figuring out things, but the main thing is patience. So just make a promise to yourself that you can do this, that you're going to withstand the rough days, that you'll get through them, because trust me, I'm living proof. I have a photo gallery of my journey, and let me tell you, it was not pretty. But when I look back, it wasn't that, the time of suffering was not that long. You can get through it. So just make a commitment to say, okay, I'm going to do this no matter what it brings. There's going to be some rough patches. I'm going to get through this. So make a commitment. The second part of making the commitment, well, the first thing is just to practice patience, exercise patience. The second thing is to, I have my little notes here on the side, is to stop straightening your hair. Now, I know that we want it all. We want both sides of the coin. However, I want to say this. You'll notice that there's some women that are bona fide curly girls, but they might straighten. They say they straighten their hair once or twice a year for like a length check, just to see how long it is. One thing I have to say too is once you make this commitment, kind of cast aside your, I don't want to say obsession, because a lot of people, it's not an obsession. For me, it was an obsession. So not all of you have an obsession, but this fixation, that's a better word, fixation with length, how long your hair is. So a lot of people will say, well, I only straighten my hair twice a year to see how long it is. You want to know how I check to see how long my hair is? I take a piece, I'm using my monitor as a mirror, and I just pull. Okay, and then I keep it moving, because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter how long your hair is. To me, the main thing is health. When you maintain healthy curls, healthy hair, don't worry, the length will come. Just know, though, that obviously when you straighten your hair, it's easier to see length because your hair is in a straightened state. With curls, it's going to take me, let's say, like, obviously, this is how long my hair is straight. But for my hair to get that straight, now watch when it bounces back. See, that's my shrinkage. It's going to take my hair a considerable amount of time, even though it grows fast. It's going to take my hair a considerable amount of time to obtain that kind of length with curly hair. Again, patience, it's the main thing. So your commitment is hinged, or is the foundation of your commitment is patience. Just be patient with your hair, patient with yourself as you figure this out. So patience, stop straightening. I would just say, just let it go right now. Do not straighten. And in the beginning, I remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss my straight hair. No, don't straighten. Oh my gosh, how can I ever not straighten my hair? You will get to a point where you will love your curls so much, or chances are you will, that you don't even think about straightening. I have not straightened this hair. All of the hair on my head has never been straightened. So when I embarked on my journey, November 4th, I believe, of 2015, I said no more straightening. And I have kept to that commitment. And to be honest with you, I don't really have a temptation to straighten, believe it or not. Now, if you had told me back then that I would not want to straighten my hair, I wouldn't have believed you. But trust me, I really, truly do not care to straighten my hair. I've grown to love and accept my curls so much that I don't even want to risk messing them up. Okay, and I'm going to get to how you can mess them up by even straightening once a little later on. Okay, so step 1, make your commitment. Step number 2, figure out what the heck you are working with. So quick story, when I embarked on my journey, again in November 2015, I had thought about it for several weeks, and I had circled the date on my calendar that I would wash my hair and go natural, meaning I would not straighten it after I washed it. So I did that, thinking that I was going to have these beautiful, glorious curls that my daughter had. After all, she came from me. I knew my hair was curly. Why would my hair look like that? Excuse the background noise. I think I have a street sweeper coming down the street. We live on a dirt road, and they're putting some chemical on the road. I'm in my kids' clubhouse, by the way, because they're at school, and this is a good place to do the video. Anywho, number 2, figure out what you're working with. So again, I thought that I was going to wash my hair, and I was just going to get out of the shower, look in the mirror, and see these dripping, shiny, perfectly formed curls, when what I saw horrified me. Why? Because I learned that I had profound, intense heat damage. Heat damage is basically when the cuticle of your hair, and probably its interior, are damaged due to excessive straightening of the hair, blow drying, flat ironing. So it's kind of like, the analogy I like to use is the phone cord. Remember those curly phone cords from the 70s and 80s? If you keep stretching that phone cord, if you keep stretching it, let's say twice a day, you need some privacy when you talk on that phone. That phone is in the kitchen, but you stretch it, right, to talk around the corner in the hallway, and so you need some privacy. So you're stretching that phone cord, and you probably can keep the cord that way for a good 2 to 3 hours as you maintain your conversation. When you go to hang up that phone, maybe months after doing this, the phone cord is not going to be that perfectly spirally phone cord that it was in the beginning. Parts of it are going to be straight, parts of it are going to loop a funny way. Maybe this portion of it will be perfectly the way it was, and then you're going to have a straight portion again. That's what excessive straightening does to your hair. So you say, well, what the heck? I know I have curly hair. Yeah, you did, but you burned it and you fried it, and there's no way of bringing that back. So I did not know what heat damage was. I'd made the commitment to go curly. I washed my hair thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have these beautiful, gorgeous curls, and I didn't. So what I did was, I could not even fathom big chopping. Hats off to all the women out there who have the courage to do so. I think it's amazing. I personally just wasn't ready to do that. So what I did was I slowly chopped my hair up over time from November 2015. I got rid of the last of the damaged ends on my 40th birthday, April 1st of 2017 of this year. So from that time in November 2015 to April 2017, I was slowly cutting, and then this is what I had. So yeah, you've got to figure out what you're working with, because you might wash your hair and might have these curls, and maybe you didn't damage your hair to oblivion like I did. But the main thing is you have to realize before you begin what you're dealing with so that you can help yourself. So number 1, make a commitment. Number 2, figure out what you're working with. So after you've washed your hair, regardless of whether your hair is damaged or not, I guess at that point, number 2, you've got to figure out if you want a big chop or if you want to transition like I did. But make no mistake about it, those damaged ends have to go eventually. They have to go because what you're going to discover is that you're going to have all of this growth, this curly, beautiful, healthy hair that's going to be shining through, and your ends are going to be like stick straight or frizzy or broken off, which is what I had. So until you get rid of those ends, your ends are not going to curl like this, right? You're just going to have this curl, like take this, and then if I had the damaged ends, I would have curl, 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 straight, or curl, 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 block of frizz, or it's just, you've got to, in order to have that perfectly uniform head of curls, you're going to need to get rid of the damaged ends. So number 2, figure out what you're working with. Number 3, again, regardless, let's say you decide that you're not going to big chop. Okay, let's say you decide you're going to go my route and transition slowly into your head of curls. The main thing you have to do is you have to kind of establish a fresh, clean slate for the hair that remains. And what I mean by that is, you may have used in your previous hair life before deciding to go curly, you may not have been as aware of what you put on your hair as when you become curly. What I mean by that is this. I'll give myself as an example. I had been co-washing, meaning I washed my hair, long washed my hair with conditioner. I didn't use harsh shampoos. But what I did use is I used a ton of silicones, and for 2 reasons. Silicones kind of help seal the hair. It's almost like if I were to put saran wrap over my arm, okay? and then dunk it into water. The water's not really getting on my hair. The water is sitting on top of that saran wrap that's on my arm. That's kind of what silicones do. And if you aim to straighten your hair like I did, the one good thing about silicones is it creates a barrier between your hair and the heat. Now, my hair was still damaged, don't get me wrong, because I had excessively straightened it and blow dried it so much for years. However, my hair didn't break off because I had the silicone. It was like a barrier for my hair. But the bad thing about silicones is that it doesn't allow water to get into your strands, right? So when you think about when you have your beautiful blowout and you have a straight head of hair, what's the main thing that you run from? Humidity, rain, snow, any kind of moisture, because why? That causes your hair to revert back to curly or frizzy in some cases, and you don't want that, okay? But the flip side is when you go to the curly side, you do want moisture. You need moisture. If your hair is not moisturized, if water does not get to the hair shaft, your curls are not going to clump. They're not going to be vibrant. They're not going to come alive. So you almost going curly, you have to undo a lot of your thinking, a lot of the ideology that you held true to yourself or that you practiced when you were wearing your hair straight. So back to washing your hair with a good clarifying conditioner. You might have layers of butters and silicones and all kinds of stuff that you put on your hair when you straighten your hair, like when you have like those elixirs that you put on your hair before you flat iron, right, to kind of like seal your cuticle. That stuff creates mad, crazy buildup, which is counterproductive to curly hair. So washing your hair with a good clarifying shampoo, one with sulfates, one with those harsh sulfates, you got to do it to get God knows what off your hair. So until you get all of that off your hair, you can't really start anew. Going back to the second step of figuring out what you're working with, you may have washed your hair, right? And maybe you washed it just once with just like a regular shampoo. And maybe your hair was just kind of lackluster. Maybe you had waves in some parts, maybe you had curls in some parts. And then you might think, oh my gosh, my hair is heat damaged. It might be, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just suffocating under all of the gunk and silicone and butters and God knows what products you used back when you were straightening your hair. So that's why step number 3 of clarifying your hair will really give you a true idea of what you're working with, because maybe your hair's not damaged at all. But even if it's not damaged, you do want to start your hair with a clean slate. So good clarifying conditioner. That's one with sulfates. I use Suave clarifying. I think it's like 94 cents at Walmart. But it's just a good basic clarifying conditioner shampoo, excuse me. So I'd wash my hair 2 to 3 times with that. Wash, rinse out, wash, rinse out, wash, rinse out, to make sure that you get all of the just stuff off of your hair. Okay, so step number 4, you have to become a scientist. I suck at science. I'm a writer by trade. All my life through school, science and math was like no bueno for me and very difficult. But I have to tell you that becoming a curly girl, the first thing I do, as well as you too, the first thing you need to do when you start embarking on establishing a new arsenal of products, you need to read the labels. You need to read the labels. In the comment box, or description box, excuse me, of this video, I'm going to include a link to you of all of the products, or excuse me, ingredients that are curly girl friendly versus non-curly girl friendly. And what I mean by that is curly girl friendly products or ingredients are ingredients that allow moisture to penetrate the hair shaft. Those that take moisture out or prevent moisture from getting into that hair shaft are non-curly girl ingredients. So I'm going to include a link to a page that pretty much explains it for you. But start reading labels. So there are certain things that you want to avoid. And this is kind of debatable, because let me just state for the record, there are some curly girls that say silicones are my friends, and silicones are those products, again, that coat the hair shaft. They are not easily rinsed. You cannot rinse them off by water. You have to have a strong clarifying shampoo to get silicones off your hair. Yet and still, some curly girls still swear by silicones. Myself personally, I say no, because I don't want anything that's going to create an extra step for me to get water into my hair, because I know, particularly with my kind of curls, with coarse, kind of kinky curly hair, I need moisture. I need moisture. I do not need any barriers to get in the way of that. So for me, I prefer to use products that are sulfate-free and silicone-free. But regardless, I would just say for you starting out, when you don't know what's what, you don't know which way you want to go, I would say for you just to give your curls an opportunity to breathe and soak up and absorb as much water as possible, please try going curly girl friendly products first. Please try that. If you find that it works for you, maybe you can keep going and then you continue on that path. If you have been doing it for a while, several months, and you still say, maybe I want to try the product with silicone in it, or maybe you have like some conditioner that you just don't want to give up, but just try the silicone-free first and see where it leads you. So the main thing is you want to look at, you see a product, look on the back, read the ingredients, see if it includes alcohol. Some alcohols are good. They're like emulsifying alcohols. Some alcohols are very, very bad. So you want to make sure that your product has the good alcohols and not the drying alcohols. There's some kind of alcohols that help with making a product more emollient, meaning that the ingredients blend together better. So those kind of alcohols don't really bother your hair, but there are certain kinds of alcohols that are almost akin to like rubbing alcohol, where they literally suck the moisture out of your hair. So you don't want that. You don't want products, again, with silicone. Again, that whole analogy of putting a saran wrap on my arm and dunking it in water, right? So pretending my arm is a hair shaft. If I wrap it in saran wrap and I dunk it into a tub of water, that water is not penetrating because that silicone or that saran wrap is creating that barrier. So you want to take that off. You want to try taking that off and allowing your hair to get that moisture. All right, so that's number 4, reading labels. Number 5, be very, 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 very careful with heat. I do use a hooded dryer, one of those old-fashioned Hot and Touch or golden hot ones. Probably need to upgrade my dryer game. I'll show that in another video. But my hair takes forever to dry. And I do my hair at night when the kids are in bed. So myself personally, I cannot go to bed with wet hair. I just can't. So I do spend a good 20 to 30 minutes with my dryer on medium to low on my hooded dryer. And then what I do is after that, I'll go in with a diffuser on medium and really blast my roots, because my roots are the last to dry. So under the hooded dryer, I'm able to dry most of my hair. Roots are still wet, and I go back in there with a diffuser and do my roots. But you want to be very, very careful with applying heat to your hair. You want to make sure you're literally not burning your curls. My rule of thumb is this: if it's too hot for your skin, it's too hot for your hair. So if you can't take a particular level of heat and it's kind of like scorching your neck or your ear or your side of your face, your temples, chances are it's too hot for your hair. So that's an easy test to go by. If it's burning your skin, it's probably burning your hair. If you want to go the dryer route like me, hooded dryer has served me well for the past 2 years. The only blow dryer I use my traditional blow dryer, but I use a diffuser attachment, so I don't just blast my hair with a regular blow dryer, because the diffuser nozzle creates more even distribution of the air, so it's not just like penetrating one section, which would be more detrimental to, or more likely to burn that portion of hair. So a diffuser attachment is critical. So that's number 5. Be very, very careful with heat. Number 6 is the fun part. Number 6, I have play around and be flexible. So there are so many different avenues and so many different ways you can wear your hair when it's natural. You can do a twist out, which is basically washing your hair, conditioning your hair, applying whatever styling aids you fancy, twisting your hair, and then drying it or sleeping on it, and then waking up and undoing the twists. You can do a wash and go like me. So I prefer the wash and go because it's easiest. I have a second head of hair to deal with. My daughter, who's 4 and is also natural, she also wears her hair in a wash and go like me. But I'm doing 2 heads. So I don't want any other things to do, quite frankly. I've got too much going on. So one of the reasons I actually went natural is twofold. One was to, I wanted my daughter to see that that I was walking the walk when I told her that her curls were beautiful. Because if I was wearing my hair continuously straight, I knew that one day she might say to me, well, you say my hair is gorgeous, but you do everything in your power to make your hair unlike mine. Why? So I said, okay, that was the catalyst. That was what encouraged me to go natural. Okay, that was the main thing. But the second thing was, I was 38 at the time when I decided to go natural. Yeah, 38. And I couldn't believe it, but I had never worn my hair in its natural state. I'd never truly given it a fair shot. So here I was, 38 years old. The idea of having to, like, go out and be seen without my hair being straight, literally, no joke, caused me a slight panic attack. I was so attached to the notion of straight hair equating beauty. And again, this is not an anti-straight video. I love straight hair. I still adore it on other people. If your hair is naturally straight, that's great. That's beautiful. Straight hair is pretty. My philosophy has been straight hair is great, except for when you have to change your life to the point where it becomes uncomfortable and you have to modify the things that you do just to keep straight hair and to attain it and to obtain it. Obviously, this is my natural hair. My hair is anything but straight. So the lengths that I was going to keep my hair straight was actually impacting my life, and that was not good. So my second thing, in addition to encouraging my daughter, my second motivation for going natural was I wanted to be able to wear my hair. Just for once, to not straighten it, just to not, oh, my hair can't be seen unless it's like this, or my hair's not decent unless it's straightened like this. Like, I wanted to just exhale and wear my hair in its natural state, know how to care for it, and just embrace it. So for me, the easiest way to do that was a wash and go, because I'm not really, I'm just washing it and just literally letting it go. So that's why wash and go works for me. But there are so many other things. There's, I had some hair twist out, braid outs, when instead of twisting your hair, you braid your hair wet and then let it go when it dries. That creates a nice, beautiful wave. You can just bun it for a while, put it in a bun, wash it, condition it, slick it back, put it in a bun until it gets to a length where you can kind of start working with it. But there are so many different options. I'm sorry, I'm not more well versed on other options, because again, I exclusively do wash and go. This is day 8 of my wash and go. I like it because not only is it easy, but it's almost like a couple of hairstyles in one, because on my first wash and go day, my hair is more defined, very defined. Not a lot of volume, but the volume continues to grow, and my hair grows more voluminous as each day of my wash and go passes. So this is day 8. Honestly, I have my best hair days between 10 and 13. That's what I like. It's really big and crazy and a little bit frizzy, and I like it. But play around and be flexible. I mean, you have to, that's the thing about, there are no rules with natural hair. Natural hair is so utterly and beautifully diverse. It is, your options are endless. So there are so many different ways, and you can create your own. I mean, there are no rules here. The only rules, honestly, I think are steps 1 through 5 in terms of how you care for your hair. Styling it, so long as you're not hurting it, do whatever. But this video is going a little bit long. We're approaching 23 minutes now, so I just want to end with this. I just want to end with some words of encouragement. When I was thinking about the outline and what I was going to say today, the words of an Isley Brothers song. I love Isley Brothers. I'm really into old school. The lyrics of an Isley Brothers song came to mind, and the song is It's Your Thing. Maybe you've heard of this song. It's, I think, like from the 70s. But one of the lines in the song is, how can you lose with the stuff you use? And that came to mind today, and I wanted to share that with you. And it's not in the stuff I'm talking about, I'm referencing, it's not necessarily the product, although the products that use are somewhat important. The brands are not important, just the products. So again, don't be fooled by these labels and these beautiful hair campaigns. I mean, they're enticing. I understand that. But just know that what makes a product is not how it looks, it's not who makes it, it's not, all the campaign and all the glitz and all that around it. It's what's on that back. It is what's under the ingredients. That is what makes a product. That's why I'm telling you right now, I use products that are like VO5 Suave. I'm not even lying. I'm going to do another video which tells you specifically what I use, but I do not use, the gel that I use is $2.54 at Walmart. I'm not even kidding. I am about saving money. I'm also about my hair being healthy. That's the main thing. But if I can get both of those, I'm all for that. I use a lot of product for my daughter and me. So I'm getting off on a tangent, but back to the Isley Brothers lyric. How can you lose with the stuff you use? If you take care of your hair, this is going to work. Just know this. It's going to work. Now, you're going to go through a period, if you're like me, again, where you have the heat damage. It's going to be tough. I'm not going to lie, but you are so going to get through it. And when you get to that point, you're going to say, I can't even believe I contemplated quitting. I can't even believe I contemplated not doing this. I am so thankful. I am so thankful. I don't want to tear up. I'm so thankful that I stuck with this. I'm so thankful. And there were rocky times, but I look back now on the rocky times, although they looked like they weren't going to end, it's over. And I'm through that part. I'm through that phase. So when you think about it, let's say you give yourself a year and a half to transition. That year and a half, God willing, you know, you live, you're going to live through that time anyway. So you may as well use it to transition. Like a year and a half, 2 years, it's going to come whether you go straight or not, but you're going to have to go through that period. So use that period to go natural and to create the curls that you really want. Really quickly before I go, a couple of months ago, I was in the waiting room of the place, the salon where I get my massages, and I could see this woman in my peripheral vision kind of like staring at me, and finally she says, "Oh my gosh, I love your hair. What do you do?" And I explained to her, well, just really, I just do a wash and go. And she really could not grasp the idea that this was my natural curl pattern. I think she thought that I actually did like a straw set or something, like wrap my hair around straws and then sit under a dryer. I'm not kidding. Like, she just could not fathom and could not grasp that this was my natural curl pattern. And I said to her, she's an African-American woman, and I think her hair was, I mean, could have been close to mine. I don't know, because she hadn't gone natural. But I had said to her, you may not have curls exactly like this, but your hair is going to look similar to this if you take care of it. So, you know, even if it's, 2 centimeters, your curls are 2 centimeters larger or smaller, does not matter. If you take care of your hair and you do right by it, you are going to love it. I guarantee you that. Like, it's just, you look at the beautiful array of curls on Instagram and on YouTube, no two heads of curls are alike, and I see beauty in all of them. And I think if you're watching this video and you have some interest in going curly, I think you already know what I'm talking about. But if you do right by your hair, this cannot not work. I hate to use two double negatives, but what I mean is it's going to work. It is going to work. Like, it's going to work. Like, you just think, you don't know what it looks like. I had no idea that this was what my hair is going to look like. It looks a little different than my daughter's. We have similar curls, but I didn't know this until I went through it, and the same goes for you. So I just want you, I hope this video gives you a little bit of just a starting point, and I'm open to questions. You can leave them below in the comment section, but what I would really, really, really much rather prefer, much rather for you to do, is to visit us on our Facebook group, Courtney Conover's Naturally Curly Love Lounge. Request to be let in. I'll let you in, and just start the comments there, the questions there, because there we've assembled a group of women who are curl enthusiasts like myself, and with all kinds of questions. And I created this forum for us to have a dialogue of what works and what doesn't work. I'm sharing what works for me because I did not have this kind of resource when I was starting out. I just saw these beautiful heads of curls on YouTube, and they were talking about what products worked for them from there on forward, but no one really told me how to get there. So that's kind of like the root impetus of me starting that group, just to have a dialogue of people who are way past or farther along in their journey, and people who are just starting, where everyone can kind of find their way together, as opposed to just meandering, throwing spaghetti on the wall to see if it sticks, just to have a place to come and to have a place to voice your questions and concerns. So take them there. You have them here too under the comment section, but again, I would really like for you to share those questions in our forum as well, because I think that other people can be helped by whatever it is that you want answers to. So this video has gone way too long. I want to thank you so much for viewing this video and for clicking on it. I'll have some other contact avenues or ways that I can be contacted below, email as well. And thank you for watching, and I'll be back again with another video very soon. Bye.